Hi, this is John Barnes, and you're listening to Cop On.
Welcome to Kop On podcast, you healthy and crumbly granola. It's been a while. It's been a heck of a long time. A heck of a long time. Our last episode was more than a month ago, for which I apologize. I've been away, I've been here, there, and everywhere. And our last episode was called Daylight. It was recorded on the 22nd of September. And we had just beaten Everton 2-1 to go roughly, I can't remember, 4 or 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Since then, on the 23rd of September, Hugo Ekitike got a last-minute winner, which he celebrated like a last-minute winner in a cup final. Got a second yellow card, one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen from any Liverpool player. And that's saying something, considering some of the dumbos we've had. And nothing against Hugo, of course. He's a very intelligent man, but that was very silly. And since then, it's almost like all of the karma of luck that we've ever had has come back to bite us. Not that I'm blaming luck entirely, but our results after Everton and the Southampton game, the 2-1 Southampton game, were, let me remind you, Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 1, Galatasaray 1, Liverpool 0, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2 at Anfield, Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 5, Brentford 3, Liverpool 2, and last night, Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 3. The first time we'd lost by 3 goals at Anfield since 1934. So 6 losses out of 7, an absolute honking of Eintracht Frankfurt just because it's Liverpool. So you lose 6 out of 7 and then you win the other one 5-1. But I feel not just like all of the air has been taken out of the balloon of this season, but I just feel so flat, and I'm delighted to be joined by Alan. It's all gone flat, Alan. It's like a steamrolled mosquito. It's as flat as that. We're playing Villa on the weekend, but I'm just not excited at all because nothing's working, and I've got tons to say on it about why and what's going wrong. My tuppence worth. But I wonder how the devil you are, Alan. How are you? Are you keeping it together? Are you throwing your slippers at the wall every night in I don't know, frustration?
Yeah, hi Owen. Good to be back and good to have you back. It's been a long time. Yeah, I think you've seen in my chat in the last few days on our group. I'm normally one of the calmest persons when it comes to football. I've 50 years following soccer, and soccer, gotta sound American, football. And I've seen it all before, and it's like history repeating itself lots of times, not just for our club, but for other clubs. And, if you see things happening again that you've seen before, just for the last week in particular, I think I've just found myself so frustrated, which is not like me. I'm just lost. I'm in déjà vu. It's just like going back 20 years ago where we played great for a few games, then we're crap, and then we're just, I can't get my head around it all. I just can't get my head around what's gone wrong so quickly. And as I said, I'm normally very calm when it comes to these things, but I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost.
Is it because you can't think of what's going wrong? You can't pinpoint it, or is it because there are just too many things going wrong?
Well, it's probably there's so many different things that could go wrong, that are going wrong. I think for me, and probably for most Liverpool fans, especially after our last 10-ish years under Klopp, and before that we had Gerrard in the team and Fight, to me the team just looks lost. They're virtually leaderless on the pitch, and all of the sudden, all of Slot's interviews seem the same. He seems to be saying the same thing in every interview. He's not giving me confidence. Like last year, I remember being on one particular podcast with you, and I'd been talking to a few fans from Holland that knew him, and they said that he'd often change the system 2 or 3 times in a game to suit the game. And I think we've seen that last year. There were certain games, things were going wrong. He'd put on 3 subs, he'd change the system, and then we'd come back into the game. But I'm not seeing that this season, and I'm not seeing the fight in the players. Now, Obviously, it goes without saying Diego Jota has affected everyone. But to me, there's not a fight in the players. And I think I'm an emotional person. I'm a people watcher, and I watch people, and I watch people's I think I know people's frame of mind by looking at them sometimes. And last night when I looked on the bench, behind the bench last night, was it 6 or 7 of the first team players. I seen disbelief in their faces, and it's just scary to see that in professional footballers' faces, to see disbelief. And it's too early to go on about Slot being sacked or anything like that, but it's getting very worrying because I don't see an improvement. And now my son actually said something very interesting to me today. I asked him, what did he think? And he said basically that it's our defence. Teams are just running through the middle of us. And he said it's very easy for people to blame. Kirkes is getting a lot of blame. Lots of people are saying Kirkes no good, he's whatever. As Adam said to me this morning, he said, like, start from the beginning of the season, people are saying, oh, well, if we had Ali, he'd save them goals. Well, we had Ali at the beginning of the season. Oh, Kirkes is the problem. We've played games with Robinson there, and we've still letting goals. We're letting in an average of 2 or 3 goals a game at the moment. Then you could say midfield is, Gravenberch is injured. We're missing them. But he wasn't injured for the first 10-ish games. And basically, we were being ran through in midfield. Our defence is the same. People are saying, oh, Frimpong's he's too attacking. Connor has played the last couple of games. He's not overly attacking. So there doesn't seem to be a fix. Like, he's changed too many players at one time, possibly. Too many new players came in and walked straight into the team, which personally I don't agree with. But also we've lost, like, Harvey, Simicas, Diaz, Jota, obviously. I know I'm missing 2 other players, but we've lost too many players too quickly. And that showed last night with the team he had put out last night. I'm going to go off on a waffle now as well, but I felt so sorry for Chiesa last night because he's not getting his place in the team regularly. He put him on last night with that young team, and young team, fair enough. But Chiesa had no support up forward last night, and he played him nearly the whole game, and he ran his socks off, and that chap will be dropped now for the next game. It's just, I don't know. Slot is just, I don't know what he's doing. I honestly don't know what he's doing.
See, for me, this boils down to the plan at the start of the season, and there's a lot I want to say about what you just said, but you're buying players. Frimpong is a good example, and Kirkes. You're buying 2 extremely attacking fullbacks, and for some reason you're asking them to invert. And I've heard, it's not just me, many fans complain about this because this is Arne Slot's style. I thought, you see, when we signed Frimpong and when we signed Kirkes, I thought, wow, because I assumed that Slot would change his overall, like his strategy to allow them to be on the outside all the time, to play as effective left wingers. I mean, Kirkes has got the pace to bomb up and down, but to basically give support on the outside for Salah and Gakpo. And of course, the new forwards we have as well. And I honestly thought the plan was to be a lot more attacking. Instead, we've gone a lot more conservative, even than last season, which was conservative anyway. But some of the decisions are just bizarre. No, the most in this run, the most egregious, the weirdest one, you talked about Chiesa then, is team selection. Okay, so I've got FotMob in front of me, and we're going through chronologically the 6 of the 7 losses. The first one was that heartbreaker at the end of the Crystal Palace match when Nketiah got the winner 90 plus 7 minutes. I'm sorry to remind you, Alan, and all of the listeners of this. I mean, they're all heartbreaking in their own way, but this was a big kick in the teeth. He played McAllister for 65 minutes. He started him. He started Isak. And he started Salah. And these 3 players have done nothing to deserve a place in the team. They've done nothing to. I mean, Mo Salah, okay, he's got 2 assists. He's got a couple of goals this season, but he's been absolutely miles off it for a long time now. Against Galatasaray, okay, so we've just lost against Crystal Palace, and then against Galatasaray, he okay, he rests Salah and he rests McAllister and Ekitike start. So I thought, okay, that's great. But then we're playing so disjointed, and Frimpong, who gets injured in the 62nd minute with a hamstring, Soboslai at right back. It's like we should be doing better. He took Ekitike off in that match against Galatasaray in 68 minutes. He took Gakpo off in 62 minutes. And these have been our best two attackers this season. He brought on, Bradley, of course he did, Isak again, Mo Salah, McAllister off the bench. And you would think, like, bringing Salah and McAllister off the bench and Isak, on paper, that would, galvanise the team and they'll be able to do something, but not this season. Honestly, McAllister and Salah, whenever I see them in the team, I'm like, we're playing with 9 men, because they either don't run back because they're told not to run back, or they can't run back because McAllister, I swear, he's injured. He's badly injured and badly in need of a break. And it's these things that from the outside just seem so freaking obvious that we need to do better. We need to play better, with our top players. I mean, who are the leaders in this team? I'm ranting now, but who are the leaders in this team? Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, and Andy Robertson. They're the 3 most senior players, with Alisson Becker as well. Ali's been injured, and the other 3, by their standards, have been very poor. Virgil's been okay. This season. He's got 4 goals already. He's shown some real class, but he hasn't looked as rock solid as prime Virgil. And he's been shouting too much at Kirkes, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm annoyed, Alan. I'm annoyed at how Slot has persisted with the style of play, without letting the players do their job. And I'm annoyed at the players themselves for not performing as well as they should have done. I'm annoyed at, like, Isak, for example. You watch all of his goals last season, all of them. They involve Murphy. They involve what's his name, Claire Balding. They involve them on the wings, being almost classic wingers, whacking it into the number 9, who's in the Alan Shearer position, 1 touch, 2 touch goal. This is not how we play. Our attacking areas are 5% in the number 9 role. The number 9 just doesn't get a touch. The number 9 in Slot's system is told to step back. I think Isak has been an absolute waste of money. Florian Wirtz has been played out of position and not used enough with and without the ball. Like, sometimes he's in good positions and we don't pass it to him. He looks like he's carrying the whole weight of the world on his shoulders, and he needs 2 dynamic players behind him sweeping up, which is why I think Soboslai and Curtis Jones, as the 2 most dynamic midfielders we have, capable of doing the most running, I think that's been our best midfield 3, but it just lacks balance. So I'm really, really pissed off at so many things. I've only scratched the surface. I'm sorry to rant for so long, Alan, but I wonder if you had any thoughts on any of that, or if you want to, I don't know, talk about something else. We're going to talk about Villa soon as well, but yeah, at the moment, let's just dissect this lamb that we have just slaughtered, or we're in the process of slaughtering, I suppose.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not a rant, Owen. That's why people tune into this podcast, is to hear your views. I can't disagree with anything you said there. I personally think Isak was a mistake, especially when we had Hugo in and Hugo was doing so well. I agree with you 100%. Like, Murphy and Claire Balding were setting up Isak last year. He doesn't suit our system, and he definitely does not suit the system with Wirtz in it. I think Wirtz, like you said, is trying his best. Wirtz is a very 1-2 round the box type of player. He spots a very quick pass. What I love about Wirtz, sometimes there's a ball coming into him, and before the ball even arrives at him, he has his pass picked out, and it's a 1-touch pass. And for that sort of player, you need a fox in the box type of player, which Isaac is not. As for Virgil is doing brilliant, and he's a great captain. But one of my personal things is midfield. We have no boss in midfield. We haven't got that one Gerrard Keane type of player that one, he's getting stuck into the opposition and they're getting the ball thinking, crap, is he coming behind me? And two, we don't have a vocal leader. And I know people that listen to your podcast regularly are probably fed up with me saying this, but I think it's coming. People might be starting to see it now. We do have three great players in midfield, but not one of them is a leader or shouting or pointing to other players or anything. So I agree, we're missing a leader in midfield. There's only so much Virgil can do from the back. Robbo's in the backs as well. And the strange thing I find, Owen, is one of our better performing players this year so far is Cody. Now, I don't think Cody is a left winger starter for us. When we let Diaz go, we didn't replace him with like for like. Cody is a workhorse. He will work all day. He'll give you 100% and he'll score goals. But sometimes when we're breaking out of defence or stuff and the ball goes up to that left wing, you mean the whole world knows Cody's going to cut in. And Diaz was great for that. He was great for getting the ball, running with pace, holding the ball up. Other players come into the game and lay the ball off or shoot himself. He wasn't the most phenomenal for scoring goals, but he was great. Now, that's a contradiction because Cody's doing so well for us, but I think we're missing that Diaz type of player on the left, which is not giving us enough time to get players forward. Like we can say it again and again and again. Slot has something about Chiesa. I don't know what it is. How many times has Chiesa come on this year, played brilliant, scored a goal, set up a goal, and then he gets dropped, not just out of team, but out of squad for the following game. And I just again, I'm just lost with these tactics, or like, even games like last week against Brentford, even like he came along, and first of all, we would have loved to have Harvey Elliott on the bench for that game. He was the type of player we needed coming on the second half there. But then I just don't get why he brought Rio on 3-1 down, 15 minutes to go to mark their right back. I can't remember his name now, but he's a good, hard, solid, strong right back, and he just Coyote.
Yeah, excellent player.
And Rio was like men against boys that night. You know, we all love Rio and we want him to do well, but he hadn't played Rio in so long. And to bring him on with 15 minutes to go, I think it was 3-1 down. You're thinking, what are you doing, man? I'm waffling now, Owen, but I just
no, you're absolutely right. I'd like to talk about a couple of those things. I mean, Lucho Diaz, I sobbed myself to sleep every night, missing that beautiful guy, because it was his work rate and getting us out of tight trouble at the back, running with the ball, all of that, great points as well. That he was great at getting us out of trouble, but the work rate and the power and the skill and the unpredictability. He could play 9, he could play out wide. Brilliant player. And Rio, he's not quite ready. He needs another year or even 2, even though he's a wonderful, wonderful player, but he's not ready. And you're right, Harvey Elliott, just for his fight and his guile and his fight. And, God knows how many we might have conceded if Harvey Elliott was also on the pitch, given how leaky we've been. But going forward, this is the thing that I expected this season that I find really disappointing, is that, let me just say, we're second in the league for goals scored. Okay, so that's not bad. But I think with the attacking talent, we should be on. We've got, I think, 16 goals so far. We should be on a lot more, because we should be saying we have the most attacking team in the league. Let's play incredible attacking football. And then if we lose 5-4, then we lose 5-4. We'll win the next 2, 7-5 or whatever. That kind of madcap, style is what I would love to see. And I think that's what our players are good at. I think Isak could be a fox in the box kind of player. I think he could be that kind of thing, but not, you're right, with the 1-2s on the edge of the box. I don't know if he's got that kind of finesse. But I think I would like loads of bodies around him in attack. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that when Slot puts on like 6 attackers and plays, basically 1-2-7 formation or whatever it is when we're chasing a game, that's when we look our best. You know what I mean? Okay, if we lose the ball, we can concede on the break, but we've also scored a lot of goals that way. And I think you're right. It's with Rio as well. The rotation hasn't been good enough. Look at Joe Gomez last night as we're recording this against Crystal Palace in the League Cup. He was disinterested. He was he's not at Liverpool's level, and he hasn't been for a while. But especially not so if he's just going through the motions and trying his best to get up for the game. Tells you that he's not up for the game, and it just seems that way. Like, I don't know, because of a lack of rotation, because he hasn't got a look in. It's like, there you go, you can play with Kieran Morrison, and you can play with this in this really experimental third-rate team, and the rotation has annoyed me. But yeah, Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott, and Rio, I just want to touch on them because your points are really good there. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, going through each individual game, we spoke a little bit about Galatasaray, the Crystal Palace, the Nketiah 90+7 heartbreaker. On that match, I just want to say how good Adam Wharton is. He's unbelievable. And then, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Estevao 90+5 heartbreaker. This is one where Caicedo took the lead after some dreadful defending by Virgil and Ibu Konate, who's been, mostly complete turd and occasionally absolute gold. And there's no in between. He's either absolute gold, but 2 games out of 10. And the rest has been absolutely diabolical, in my opinion. He's looked shaky. He's looked like not even championship standard for me, not up for the fight. But anyway, that match. So Caicedo took the lead on 14 minutes with a bit of freak goal, to be honest, even if it was terrible defending. Then Gakpo equalised on 63rd minute, and you think, right, we're doing well. We're going to come back and get the winner now. But no, I mean, Mo Salah stayed on the field. Isak, he got the assist for Gakpo and then was substituted 10 minutes after because he can't play 90 minutes. And McAllister ended up playing 86 minutes of that match and looked absolutely knackered. Kirkes was substituted after 55 minutes because of a yellow card. Konate on 56 minutes because he was awful. Bradley on 40 at half time because he had a yellow card and he was awful. Sorry, it was Bradley with the yellow card, not Kirkes. Kirkes was just having a bad day. And we were a little bit unlucky, but again, going forward, we have to bring it back to Jota. We have to, because there's so much that's missing from this team that is directly related to Diogo not being there. And I want to just say that it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I feel disconnected with the results. I feel if we lose again against Villa, it'll be sad. I'll be sad, but only a little bit because it's only football and it doesn't matter, 1 iota in the bigger scheme of things, and we'll be happy for the opposition. Why not? Let's think of it that way. But it must be so hard. Somebody on the Anfield Wrap, I think it was Ian Salmon on the Anfield Wrap, put it beautifully that, when you lose a friend and it's a friend that you work with all the time and you see them all the time, it just takes everything out of you. And that's all they'll be thinking about. And having to process all of that when they're on the road. We've had so many away matches recently in this run. And you're staying in hotels, no one's at home. Everything's forgiven, home or away, and everything's forgiven because of that. It's very important that we just reiterate that. We said that at the beginning of the season, we'll say that throughout the season, that it just doesn't matter. But, I don't know. What do you want to say on that, Alan?
Yeah, exactly. And I seen last week the Liverpool game against Frankfurt was on Irish TV, and there's an ex-Irish player, Damien Delaney, defender. You might remember him.
Did he play for West Ham? I can't remember.
I think he played for West Ham. I think he could have played for Palace as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
He said he had the unfortunate job of marking Mo Salah in his first ever game for Liverpool.
Okay.
But anyway, he's pundit now, and he does a podcast here in Ireland with Joe Malloy, the Irish Independent podcast. And I find him an absolute brilliant pundit because he's reasonably fresh out of the game, and he says what he believes. He doesn't give hype or BS. Now, last week he was speaking about it, and then another great player, Kevin Doyle, the ex-Irish player, was talking as well. And Kevin Doyle in particular actually said, he mentioned the Jota thing, and he said it's never happened to him to lose a colleague in professional football, but now I'm going to make a dog's dinner out of this. But basically what he went through what it must be like for professional athletes who concentrate 100% on their sport, to walk into that dressing room every day, to walk into the training ground every day, and to try and be 100% concentrating on your job. Now, we've all gone through that in life. We've all lost somebody in work or whatever. But his point was, if, God forbid, I lost a colleague in work, he's a colleague, you're in work, you're probably giving 80% of yourself to the job most of the time. But his point was, these professional athletes concentrate on nothing, only their football, their diet, everything. And then to try and come to terms with that, he just couldn't believe it. He spoke to lots of his old colleagues that had lost players when they'd retired and stuff like that, and not one of them could comprehend the damage it would do to the team, to the morale. And he just put it so well, because he was a professional player, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all lost someone close to us, and 3 years later you're reminded of it, whatever. But for them to be playing so bad, have that dip, and not be concentrating 100% on themselves in the game, must be very hard to get back up. And again, I'm probably making a hames of it, but the way he put it was just it just went, wow, yeah.
It's a very good point. We're speaking to someone who was a coach in the States, actually a Manchester United fan, unfortunately, but he was talking about coaching, and just like you were just saying, like the when you dedicate yourself to become an elite player, the difference between being absolutely elite and being extremely average is paper thin. It's paper thin. It's not even paper thin. He said it's like it's like this tiny membrane, and you have to do all these amazing things, like with the diet, like you were mentioning, or Damien Delaney was mentioning, who I looked up was Crystal Palace legend, of course, and Hull City, 200 appearances for Hull back in the 2000s. But anyway, and Mo Salah, for me, as I was saying to this coach, is the one who's suffering the most. You were talking about how you pick up on certain things by looking at people, and for me, emotionally, Mo Salah looks like he's the one who's suffering most in our team from all of it, and especially because he'll be as lost as anyone as to why his form is so poor this season. But it's because he's lost a friend, and he's trying to grieve, and he's trying to process it. And that's the difference between 100% and 90%, and even that is massive. That's absolutely massive difference. So yeah, it's a great point, and that's it. I don't know how it's going to play out from here on in. I'm just going to repeat that I just don't mind this season. They've got at least a season off, just to do what they want. But I don't think they should be playing if their heads are not quite right, though. I mean, if anyone's head can be quite right, it's another question. But you would think that the players with less of the baggage, as in the ones, baggage is such a cruel word. Excuse me. I don't mean baggage in a negative sense. I mean, who's not carrying this emotional burden, excuse me. The players who are carrying less of the emotional burden, being the new signings, for example. You could play Ekitike, you could play Viet and Isak as a front three. You could start a game like that, or Rio, as just start him, just to give the ones who are still struggling with the absolutely understandable emotional burden. Give them their time to process whatever they can process. But yeah, I mean, it could just be as simple as, you know, Mo Salah's questioning everything. You know, what's he doing it for? What's the point? So yeah, hopefully it's not the case, but it could well be. So going forward to Villa then. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Basically, everything needs to change. It's at Anfield. That's a change. What do you think? What's your overall? I'm not going to ask any leading questions. Just what's your overall view of this match going into it?
God, I don't know. For once, I don't know. But maybe like you said there, maybe there was method to Slot's madness last night in resting all the first team players. Maybe he just thought they did need a full game off, and like you can't judge last night until we see what happens Saturday. Is it Saturday evening we're playing them? But it's plain and simple. We just want, every game is a must-win game now, so we just have to see a reaction. I'm expecting us to go out and, I'd love to say tear them apart, but just beat them. I'm lost on. I'm actually lost. Maybe like you said, it just, that heart is not in it or something. It's more important things. But you know me, normally I can talk for Ireland, but I don't know what to expect. I want to see a reaction. I want to see our first team players react. I want to see a little bit of anger. I want to see a few yellow cards. I want to see a bit of fight, and obviously a win. But I just think there was too much. Losing becomes a habit. We're Liverpool. We can't accept losing 6 out of 7 games. And if we don't see a reaction pretty soon, God knows where the team could end up this season.
Well, we're in 7th as it stands on 15 points, and Aston Villa are also in 7th in 8th. I mean, on 15 points. Their form has been almost the inverse of ours. In the first 5 matches, they only had 3 points, and then they've won each of their last 4 matches, and they got a draw in the 5th match. 5 matches ago, they got a draw, and they've won their last 4 matches. Win, 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 win. Whereas we are loss, of course, in the Premier League. And yeah, so the 15 points. The last time they won a match in the Premier League was against Man City. Not bad. Last weekend on Sunday, the 26th of October. Oh, by the way, it is Saturday. It's a Saturday night game, 8 o'clock Irish time. Is the game against Villa. So their last match, they had Emi Martinez in goal, Matt Cash, Ezri Konsa and Pau Torres, and Luca Digne in defence. Midfield, they had 2 very good screening players, Boubacar Kamara and Amadou Onana. No one wants Andre Onana. Amadou Onana, who's been in great form as a number 6, very big and aggressive, and the kind of player who will eat us alive if current form is anything to go by on set pieces and all throughout the match. So Kamara and Onana as their 2 holding players, and in front of them, John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Buendia, who of course is having a bit of a resurgence in form and is being preferred to Harvey Elliott in the Villa side, because Emery did not want Harvey Elliott, and Ollie Watkins up front. Off the bench, they have the likes of Jadon Sancho, who's a bit of a liability, Daniel Marlin, who's got quality, Ross Barkley, who's still alive, Ian Matson, a very good player, and Evan Yesong, who I don't really know, who came off the bench against City. City were without Rodri for that game. I don't know if he's injured again. I've no idea. But that was a great result for Aston Villa. Before that, they beat... who did they beat? I've got their matches here. I just have to find the right dates. Excuse me 1 second. So before that, they lost to Go Ahead Eagles in Europe, but forget that. Then they beat in the Premier League only. They beat City at home. They beat Tottenham away, excellent results. They beat Burnley at home, and they beat Fulham at home. So they're on a great run of form. It's in terms of Aston Villa versus Liverpool. The last 6 home matches, Liverpool have won 5 and drawn 1. So they've got a very bad record at Anfield. But Anfield is like, I don't know, it's because we've been conceding the first goal so often. You just think that if we do that again on Saturday night, it's not gonna turn into Goodison, but there'll be a lot of discontent, won't there, Alan? Especially as you said, like Slot made a decision to play the third team against Palace in the League Cup. He's got to win this. He's piled the pressure upon himself that we have to win this. Anything else, is the pressure going to be on his job?
Absolutely. He's made this a must-win game. If we go out and win it well, everyone, it's like master stroke. You give the players a rest. It's only the cup. We don't care now that we're out of it. But if you don't win it and you didn't play virtually any of the players, he's going to come under pressure. He is coming under pressure, which is kind of unfair. It's too early. He has credit in the bank from last season and all, and obviously, as we said already, Jota and things like that. But he will come under pressure because even that, like you said already, that team we put out the other night was so many young players in it because we let too many players go in the summer. And Villa are a good team. He's a good manager. He doesn't have any superstars or anything, but he sets up a good defence, good midfield, and he gets results. So it's not going to be easy. And we were like Man City last season. When Man City had a really bad period last season, the other teams can smell blood and they're going for you. They have no fear of you and they go for you. So I have no confidence. Like I said earlier, I want a reaction and we need a reaction and we need to show that we want it. But the other teams are coming to Anfield now not afraid. That's very, very dangerous.
It is indeed. So let's try and fix it then, Alan. I mean, maybe not now, but for the long term. Okay, goalkeeper. Alisson Beck is injured all the time. He's injured again. Mamadashvili has come in. What have you made of him?
I don't think he hasn't done anything wrong. I'm a big goalkeeper fan. I like goalkeepers. My short enough career myself, I was goalie. My son was a fantastic goalie. He's a good player. He's a very good keeper. As I said earlier on, we've had Alisson at the beginning of the season and we let in goals. We have him now. We were letting in goals. I don't think there's one goal where you'd say he was at fault. So
I agree.
You're right, though. Yeah, and you're right. Ali's just too injury prone lately. He's the best keeper in the world, but I've no fear with Mama.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. He's a good number 2. And we'll see if he develops into good enough to be number 1. He hasn't quite convinced me, especially with his feet. But he hasn't been too bad. I don't remember any horrendous errors. He's not as good as Alisson, but then no one is. But I'd like to get someone who's close to Alisson, very close to Alisson, as a longer term project. Maybe Mama can get there. I don't know. But listen, the fullbacks is a problem. For me, Kerkez is not good enough to play this system. If you're going to use Kerkez, you have to let him just go and attack and just use the whole width. Stop coming inside and complicating your game. Just bomb up and down and be that crazy, like Albi Moreno style, but hopefully a bit better defensively. And just go and bomb up and down and be crazy, that's what I want from him. But he's not doing that, so he's not good enough. Andy Robertson has been better than Kerkez overall, I think, in his performances, but he's still miles off it and he still makes mistakes and he's unfortunately a shadow of his former self. So I think we need another left back as soon as possible. And on the right hand side, Frimpong has 2 hamstring injuries already, very worrying. And Bradley's been really a shadow of his former self. Again, I think that's trying to deal with the complicated nature of Slot's tactics. Possibly, or that he missed pre-season as well. But I think we need another right back because neither of those have convinced at all. That's why Dom got a few games there, and he shouldn't be played at right back. And then at centre back, I know how you feel about Konate, and I've come round to your opinion that we can definitely improve. So I don't need to ask you about that. So we need to sign 2 centre backs. So we need to change 3 of the 4 positions. Virgil is slowly becoming a problem because he's aging, and in the next couple of years, I don't know. If we sign 2 centre backs, I'll be happy because unfortunately Leone got that horrendous injury and he looked so promising. It's a real heartbreaker, that one. Maybe that was the moment where everything changed when Leone was injured. And yeah, so from just looking at the back 4, what do you reckon to any of that? I think we need three new ones.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And with Kirkes as well. Like I think we need Robertson to start the games and maybe bring Kirkes on after 65 minutes and let him run at them when the other teams are tired. You're right about Konate. I never took to him. I never rate him, but he had 1 or 2 good seasons. Fair enough. I don't know what's happened to Connor. Like Connor last year was brilliant, apart from the injuries, and then again I don't know what happened to him. As for centre backs, I actually had wrote down here earlier on when I jotted down a few notes. We need to sign a Clavan. An older centre half that's going to come in and do a job. A Joel Matip, Clavan.
You can't put them in the same bracket. Matip and Clavan.
No, sorry, but I mean, free transfer came in. Nobody.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but like, no, Matip was one of my favourite centre backs ever. And I think he also complimented Virgil as well, because it's one thing you'd say about Konate. Konate can't go forward with the ball. And when we are attacking a low block and you see Konate in the midfield with the ball, you think, oh no. Joel Matip would make his lovely runs, his adventures up the pitch and score headers. He was a brilliant player. But again, what did you make of Calvin Ramsey last night?
See, I switched off the game when the second goal went in because it was just too heartbreaking to watch. You know, I hate losing like games where you're going to lose. There was 0 chance of a comeback, and we were 2-0 down in the first half. But he impressed me in the first half. He really did. His injury record is horrendous, but I would say that was probably the best performance by a right back from a Liverpool player this season. Yeah. It's, I mean, against Yeremy Pino, who's a good player. It was encouraging, to be honest. But I'd still we need a player who can play in Slot's system. Maybe Ramsey can, but someone who's comfortable on the ball and who can run, but also as well as Slot's system. We need more very physical, good at winning duels defenders. Yes. Moving into the midfield, I mean, I've been saying it since Wijnaldum and Henderson, since the days of the Brexit midfield. We need 2, at least 1, but preferably 2 new midfielders. I've been saying that for years and years and years. One of them being a ball buster that you were talking about before. We desperately need a ball busting midfielder. And also another one would be an Adam Wharton type, who's deep-lying playmaker, absolute silky, can control a match, because we've been missing a lot of control. And that way, we will have McAllister, Soboslai, Jones, Gravenberg, and 2 others. And you can rotate properly so that no one gets overly exerted into injury, and that everybody can... I don't know, it's just a balance, because we lack balance. That's what I do to improve our midfield. A mixture of more control and more, ball busting. What do you think?
All of the above, yeah, absolutely agree. Definitely need a ball buster, and Adam Wharton looks a great player. We need... As we already said, we need that ball buster, and we need to control the midfield, because teams are just running through us.
Absolutely.
Is Gravenberch back for this week? I think he's
touch and go. It depends which site you read. One of them, I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, it's like Fantasy Football Premier League. That's injury site. They had him a 75% chance of playing, and that was the highest percentage I'd seen. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay, I think Slot was asked, and he said he's very close. So.
Okay. So yeah, okay. But then going forward, then we need a new left winger to support Cody Gakpo, and while Rio is making progress, we need a new right winger because he's not going to play Chiesa. And Chiesa's good. I like him as an impact player, but I want someone who's right off the bat going to cause trouble. And we don't have that with Mohamed Salah, unfortunately, this season. Will Salah come back next season? It's unlikely, but it's possible. So, but for now, for this season, if Semenyo has a release clause, I'm triggering that release clause in January because I think it's urgent. We get a right winger. And up front, we've got Isak and Ekitike. We're stuck with them. No one's going to buy Isak. But I would change our system so that this new left winger and the new right winger, if it's someone like Semenyo, wonderful, then they can supply the number 9s. Because I was looking at a site just before we started called xgstat.com, which is a great stat site I've just discovered, and it put in plain view how bad we are at successful crosses and how bad we are at creating chances for our number 9s, apart from Wirtz, who's very good at it. But yeah, I would, for me, the ultimate team, it's very difficult because you've got to think of balance. Maybe just play Wirtz off the right, play Wirtz off the right. I know, but then we lack pace. I don't know who we need to sign. We need to sign Sadio Mane for the left, Semenyo for the right, and play Wirtz in the Bobby role. There you go. That's my tuppence worth. Or Ekitike and Isak. I've no idea what to do with him. He can be the cheerleader. He can make the cups of tea. He can do something. I mean, maybe he'll come good, and this will be ridiculous in a year to listen back to this. But a lot has got to change to get the best out of Isak, and I just don't see it. I don't see it working in this system. I don't see it working at Liverpool, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. But it's hard to fix an attack. We haven't been that bad in attack. Like I said, 16 goals is not that bad. It's the rest of the team that needs more work. But if you're we need a right winger minimum, and a left winger would be great. Those are my 2 priorities. What do you reckon, Alan?
Yeah, again, I couldn't disagree with any of that. The one thing I would like to see happen more often, I should say, not more often, is switch a few players around during the game. Like you said, Salah is not having the best time out on the right. I'd just like to see us, like I said earlier on, Slot had a reputation for changing systems in the middle of games. Like 10 minutes in second half, push Salah into the middle, push Gakpo out to the right, just move their defenders around a bit. But like you said, we need fresh legs. We need fresh speed up the wings. I'm like you. I don't think Isak is right for our team, but he's not getting the ball he likes either. So, if we do hit a purple patch and start playing better and winning, he could come good. He could be a great asset to the team. Hugo, I absolutely love. I love him. You can play down the middle, you can play down the left for me. But like you said, we're just too predictable at the moment. There's no unpredictability about our attack. Like if you're the left back and you've been training all week to mark Mo Salah, the next thing you've Cody Gakpo on you, or you've Ekitike on you, and Salah's in the middle. Just switch it up a bit, change the angle of attack as such. But we don't have many choices. That's the thing. We spent so much money on several good players that are not fitting into the system, and we let too many go too quick. I just like every player you've picked there for the starting 11. I agree with 100%, but there was no real options. Midfield is the only place we have options, but we don't have the 2 players we need: someone to control it and a ball breaker.
But who would you start up front against Villa, and who would you start in midfield?
Well, obviously, if Gravenberch is back, I'd start him. Szoboszlai has to get into every team, and he has to stay in midfield. He's the closest thing to the workhorse, the ball breaker we have. He will run and run and run and run. You can shoot from outside the box. He can tackle back.
He's been brilliant. Our player of the season. He's been immense.
Absolutely. Then, like you said, I think Jones will give us more control. He'll hold on to the ball better, give the rest of the players time to get into positions and get forward. So that'll be my three midfielders. Up front, I still have faith in Salah. And
why?
But as I was just going to say as well, but who replaces him?
Wirtz.
Wirtz on the right.
Wirtz on the right because Salah's he's ineffective. It's like playing with 10 men, like I said, because at least Wirtz can track back. You play Wirtz in a right, off the right, he can float around.
But again, is that the system where Salah is told to stay forward a bit more? Like he said last year. I know he's not putting the numbers in this year, but
it's not working. Yeah, no, it's not working. Wirtz would, he would come back and help Bradley out more.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you could try that. Hugo's a number one on my team sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gakpo off the left.
Again, we don't have much choice. Like I said, Gakpo's putting in the numbers, he's putting in the goals. He's not the exciting winger I'd like there, but you cannot argue with his numbers. So yeah, Gakpo, Hugo. Try Wirtz there. Let Salah come on for the last 30 minutes. Get him. See, can we get him going, get his anger up, or get him frustration? And I think one of the great Jurgen Klopp moments was the Barcelona game when he kept Gini on the bench, released him with 30 minutes to go. He was so angry he went to score 2 goals. Like maybe Salah needs that. He needs to be on the bench and come off the bench a few times maybe.
Hopefully. That's why I wouldn't start him. I definitely wouldn't start him. But okay. So yeah, I mean I quite like that team. And then are you playing Robertson at left back or Kirkes?
Robertson.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like we said earlier on, if Robbo's not a 90-minute player anymore, but just for that stability at the back for the first half in particular, and then maybe with 30 minutes or so to go, let Kirkes bomb up and down if we need him.
I mean, he might be against John McGinn if they line up like they did against. So he's not, he wouldn't be playing against out and out pace. Daniel Marlon might come off the bench and cause some trouble, but yeah, I agree. I think Robertson, for the stability and for the fact he's just been a bit better. I just think we need all of our best players on the pitch, ones who've played the best this season. Yeah, on current form, not on reputation, but on current form, which is why I would love to have another option for Konate, but because, and Bradley as well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But as you say, it's difficult to look forward to, isn't it? Google has us at 60% chance of winning the game, and a draw is like around about 15%, and a 25% chance for Villa to win. You're shaking your head, Alan. I agree that sounds way off, doesn't it? It's like
That's mad.
What would you say? What chance would you give Liverpool of winning this match? 30%. I would say 30%, and then the 30% draw and 40% Villa.
Yeah, that is the feeling, isn't it? It's sad to say, but it's true.
Obviously, I hope not. And so does everyone listening to this. Same for you, Alan. But yeah, it's how it feels to me. Blimey. Well, we're in the relative doldrums for Liverpool. I mean, what is so reactionary? You said that just finally on Slot. Let's finish on Slot. You said that. Forgive me, it's jet lag. Slot. What did you say about Slot? Oh yeah, that he should be given lots of time, given the Jota situation and given the fact that he won the league. He should be given at least this season and then some more to fix the problems, right? That makes sense. But football doesn't work that way, right? Because the more you lose, the more it piles up. And losing 6 out of 7 and breaking lots of records for losing is horrendous. So this obviously has to change. When will your personal patience break? Let's say, for example, we lose 3 of the next 5. Let me just get the next 5 up because I actually don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead. Let's look at our next 5 matches. Oh, good Lord. So it's Villa, Real Madrid, Man City, Nottingham Forest, and PSV. Okay, all comps. And then we've got West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds. It gets a little bit easier. But for those 5 matches, Villa, Real Madrid, Man City, Forest, and PSV. If we lose 3 of those, draw 1 and win just 1, let's say against PSV, is your finger, twitching over the red button for Arne Slot?
Well, yeah, and just to clarify, I think I said he has credit in the bank, but he's also used up some of that credit. Like, to lose 6 out of 7 games, not good enough. Again, it depends. If we play the next 3 matches and don't see a reaction, that's when the trigger's on the button. I haven't seen the reaction from the players. I don't know if it's like if deja vu over again that you've seen before. It's like, is he losing the dressing room? Or if we don't see a reaction against Villa, and I mean a good reaction, then of course he is coming under severe pressure. And especially, as we said already, after playing that team the other night. So
let's say, for example, we lose 4-0 to Villa. I'm talking about you personally. Are you pulling the trigger at that point? Maybe.
If we lose 4-0 to Villa, yes, I am putting the finger on the trigger, definitely.
Wow.
Because you have to stop the slump. You have to, as I said already, losing becomes a habit and it becomes acceptable.
See, I'm not. It's too soon for me. It's too soon.
But the other thing as well, again, is when I put my sensible hat on, who do you get in? Who's available?
Ten Hag's available. Sorry. Well, figure that out. Let's say there is someone available. Jurgen Klopp enticingly said in an interview recently with the Diary of the CEO on YouTube that he would consider coming back to Liverpool. Goodness, imagine. So Jurgen Klopp would be my answer. Because that is a good point. Like, who do we replace him with? If it's Jurgen Klopp, I'd be tempted after Villa maybe if we lose 4-0. But regardless, I'm staying with Arne. We're only 3 points off second, despite how awful we've been. 3 points off second, and there's a way in which I've taught myself through many a season into things will be okay if we just do X, Y, and Z. And here we are again in that same position. So I know that it's not the right place we want to be in, but Slot for me deserves. For me, we have to get as far as 14th in the table. If we slip down, if we slump down to 14th, then I'm pulling the trigger. But anything goes until then. And if we end the season 13th, I'm giving him the summer to fix it. I really am. I think maybe I'm more patient than other people. But we can lose 4-0 to Villa. We can lose 5-0 in the next match against City. And then we can get a cheeky 2-1 or something like that, against Nottingham Forest. Then we beat West Ham, beat Sunderland, beat Leeds, and then things are starting to look up again. I don't know. For me, it's time to be patient. I think I would be patient if I was Liverpool's owners, and I think they might be. We'll see. But thank you so much, Alan, for this chat. It's been very therapeutic. I've enjoyed it a lot. I've had so much to say. I feel like I still have hours and hours and hours of dissecting to do with the sharpest scalpel I can find. But thank you very much, Alan. It's been very, very, very lovely to hear your views and to go through. I hope it's been constructive to listeners. Some kind of, ways, not just that we're rubbish, but, ways that we can get better. So I think change the tactics, improve the rotation, improve individual performances. We haven't touched on set pieces. Learn how to defend set pieces. and play with a better offside line, which we haven't mentioned, which it's been a bugbear for years as well. And be more aggressive. So there you go. That's it. Apart from that, you're doing great, lads. But thank you, Alan. Is there anything else you would like to add, or anything to summarize your position on all this?
Yeah, no, that's good on. I just just if there's any younger members of our club out there that listen to your podcast, which I know there are, 9-10-year-olds and stuff, don't worry, lads and girls, we've been here before. You've had 9 or 10 good years of Klopp and winning things and winning the Premier League last year, and just keep the chin up, boys. We'll be back. This happens every few years, and don't worry about it.
Well, it makes the winning all the sweeter, doesn't it? Stick with the team, stick with the boys, and we'll see what happens. Really, coming to Liverpool on Saturday night. Let's see if the real Liverpool can stand up and the crowd can find their voice. It's something that we would all desperately love. This has been Kop On. You can get in touch, koponpodcast@gmail.com. For now, you'll never walk alone. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.